Hi YouTube, welcome to Pagan Perspective. This is Megan, aka Saberisary, and today is Friday. So today we are talking about self-magic. So a question asker is a really long question in this, and basically the idea is that the question asker wants to know our thoughts about self-magic in relation to the term being used for atheists and Satanists and doing magic that is only coming from themselves, right? So it only comes from themselves, and it also, I guess the way that it's described, definitely read it. I'll make sure to put it in the down bar below. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the camera situation. Again, I'm having to do a direct upload and I work. So, this idea where, like, I guess the two types of self-magic that he's talking about are, one is just self-energy, self-directed energy, and then the other would be something that he says isn't even, or she, I'm not sure who it is, the question asker says isn't even really magic. It's more, he calls a psychodramatic experience. So, which in this case, the question asker is using psychodramatic in a relatively correct way. Psychodrama is an actual therapeutic practice that I practice. It was developed by Morano. He's actually a contemporary of Freud. So it's a very old therapeutic practice that is actually still relevant today, unlike a lot of Freud's theories where we had to sort of pick and choose the parts that we like and the parts that were relevant, and then sort of alter the therapies. Psychodrama is one of those things that still exists this day that is amazing and really, really useful. So the way that he's talking about psychodramatic experiences is pretty correct in the way that the experience is, it definitely changes you. It kind of gets in there, you know what I mean? Like it's really effective in that way. The only difference is that it's not about having an experience that then alters you, that you then remember for a long time. He's using it in a little different way, which I actually can see how it could be applied to magic. So it actually kind of makes sense. But psychodrama in and of itself is actually basically reenacting unfinished business. And so if you had a conversation with somebody that didn't go very well, you can do that in a psychodramatic piece. You can redo it. Right. And so we heal trauma by redoing it and having that experience again and having some closure to it. So it's that catharsis of unfinished business. But I really do enjoy what he was saying or she was saying, and that I do think that it could be used in that manner for magic. I think it would be great. So that being said, though, what he's talking about for self-magic is magic. I mean, the energy of yourself having an experience that really is dramatic and calls upon your mind to remember it and to hold that contract in that space. All those things are magic. And then the question asker goes on to talk about deity magic, elemental magic, and sort of separating it out, which I guess that's fine if you really feel like you want to separate it out. And I'm sure there are some people and some traditions that do separate it out. Maybe some very ritualistic and very formal traditions might separate those things out. I don't. It's all magic. And for me, they're intertwined. They really are. They're all inherently magic, and I use them all in a ritual. Every single bit of them. I use them interchangeably, intertwined. You can't take it apart, because at the same time that I'm using deity magic, I'm still using bits of elemental magic, getting energy from the earth, from the sky, like from water, especially. I'm very connected to water, always getting energy from water. And then at the same time, I'm using my own energy and self-magic to create an experience, an extreme experience in my mind as well. So every single bit of those parts of magic, I'm using all at once, at the same exact moment. And if you take one of those things away, for me, it's not complete. You take one of those pieces away and things can come crumbling down. And I have no desire to take anything away. Those are all essential parts of magic, essential parts of my magic, essential parts of, you know, many people I know's magic. And so I would never want any bit of it to go away, or to try and segment it out. I just feel like, to me, what is the phrase? The total is greater than the sum of its parts. And I feel like when, you know, a ritual is done, when magic is done, yes, you could break it down into all its little parts and say, okay, this part was self magic, and this part was elemental magic, and this part was deity magic. However, when you add all those little parts up, it doesn't equal the total that when you know, combine them all and make them all work together and make them all harmonious and synchronized, that total is so much greater than just the sum of those individual elements. So that's kind of my take on it. But yeah, I use it. That's what I do. So, and the self magic part, you know, I think it's great. The psychodramatic part, I think that's awesome. I understand why maybe why you've applied the name to it, or why some people might want to apply the name to it if they don't want to be associated with the word magic. You know, if that bothers them and they say no, that this is more of a psychodramatic element to help, you know, it's more therapeutic in that realm, and that's great. That is awesome. I just think it's great. I mean, frankly, therapy is a type of magic. It really is. And so, you know, but I don't say that to clients, right? Because that's not necessarily their experience of it either. So, you know, I want to make sure that gets acknowledged too, you know, that it's okay to not call something magic, even if someone who's a magic user might call it magic. And that's okay, because it's important that it's doing a purpose for you and it's serving you well, and you're getting some positive reward out of it. You're getting some sort of, you know, heightened sense of awareness. You're getting some sort of benefit basically out of it. And then it's great. As long as we're not, you know, hurting anybody to get that benefit, it's fine. So yeah, I really enjoy that term being used in that way. I thought that was really cool. And I think it was very apropos. I liked it. So kudos. Yeah, I think that's about it for today, guys. Gonna try and keep it as simple and short and sweet as I possibly can. Yeah, so magic, for me, magic is magic, and I can't separate any of it out because it's all part of who I am and part of what I do. But yeah, that's it. So as always, guys, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I think next week is subs week, so I might not see you. So, but I'll see you the next week. So that means actually I probably won't see you before Beltane. So for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, happy Beltane. Really happy Beltane. My heart to yours. And as always, guys, blessed be and aloha.